Hi everyone! Today I'm here with another review. This time it is on Playing with Fire by Tess Gerritsen, or Gerritsen. I still don't know how to pronounce the author's name, unfortunately. I got this book from Waterstones in the section of Blind Date with a Book. It was wrapped in brown paper, and the only thing I knew about it, which was written on the back of the book, that it was something to do with music. When I opened it, I thought, maybe there has been a mistake, because it doesn't really look like a book that would have anything to do with the music, because it looks like a typical thriller cover. So I've been putting off reading this book for more than a year, but finally I read it for the Owls Readathon and I'm so glad I did. It is such a good book. Let's start with the plot. This book starts with Julia, our main character, who comes across an interesting piece of music, and when she plays it at home, it seems to kind of stir something in her daughter, in her 3-year-old daughter, and then she starts doing some strange things. But is she actually doing them? And there's another storyline that is set in the period of the World War II in Italy, and there's our main character Lorenzo, and it follows him and his life. Somehow these two storylines are related to each other. As a genre, I would describe this book as a thriller, mystery and historical fiction, so everything at once. It is definitely very interesting. I am not a huge fan of thrillers. I don't really read them that often, but this was just such a good book and I'm so happy that I read it. I gave it 4.5 stars. So let's get more into details. Still no spoilers, but just a bit more into details. This book is very short. It is 314 pages, at least in this edition. And like I said, there are two storylines. The book is set into several parts. Lorenzo and Julia, and they will be following each other. So one would be Julia, one would be Lorenzo. Julia's part is told from the first point of view, and Lorenzo's part is told from the third point of view. I enjoyed the World War II storyline a lot better, but then it's probably usually the case with me for some reason. I just seem to enjoy books set in that period of time, but I found it so interesting and so tragic and so beautiful. The things that happen in Lorenzo's life, they are incredible and touching. I cried at some points in this book purely in those historical moments, because obviously the period of World War II is quite tragic. Everything is about war. Whatever you do is about war. You can't change anything. Everything you do has to do something with war as well at the same time. You just can't avoid it. It's in every single bit of everything you do, everything you think, and every day. So I found it really touching and interesting. I was just immersed in the story so much when I was reading the historical point of view, so I enjoyed it a lot more. But then Julia's point of view was quite interesting as well, because there's obviously a mystery about her daughter doing some weird things, but is she actually doing them, or is Julia going crazy like her husband thinks? So one day she just goes to Venice to try and find out more about that piece of music that she came across. Julia is the main character. I'm not sure I liked her all that much. Lorenzo was probably my favorite character, and another female character in the past. So that was quite interesting to read from about both of them and about their storylines. Considering this book is very short, nothing is dragged in it, so it keeps you going. I think you'll be able to read it very quickly, and the beginning is not dragged. So like sometimes in some thrillers there's like a back storyline and then it goes to the action. In this book though, the action kind of starts from the very first chapter, so it's not dragged at all. Sometimes I would find those periods of like going past back and forwards in time confusing and losing track of what's actually going on, when it's going on. In this book it was really easy and kind of all came together perfectly. The only thing that bothered me is that we still didn't get one answer to one of the questions that I had, at least. One thing is not exactly explained. That's probably why I actually gave this book 4.5 stars instead of it being a 5-star book. And it is probably the first instance that I actually enjoyed and liked a book that it's kind of disturbing and sad, where everything goes down. It's probably the only book that I enjoyed very much like this. So now I'm not actually scared to go more into those books, because apparently they could be good for me, and it doesn't mean that they will put me in a bad mood or, you know, feeling depressed or something. It was really, really good, and I can definitely see myself rereading this book in the future at some point. So I would say this book is for those people who are interested in music, who love thrillers, mystery books and historical fiction, because this book has everything in it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!